Okay, B'ezrat Hashem, today we're going to learn the next Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, Pirkei, Mishnah Chaf Bet. This Mishnah is probably one of the most famous Mishnayot in this Masechet because Yaakov Shweki made a song about it. Bag Bag. Now, before we even see it inside, it's very interesting to figure out who is this Bag Bag. So the Tosfot Yom Tov quotes, what's that? Oh. And Tosfot Yom Tov quotes two explanations as to the identity of this fellow. Who is this guy Bag Bag? So either he says Bag Bag, quoting the Rav earlier in the Masechta, is a reference. Why is it called Bag Bag? It doesn't even say his name. Some say it's Yochanan Bag Bag, which is referenced in Masechet Kiddushin, but it doesn't even say his first name. So some say the reason he was called Bag Bag is because he didn't have a long life. He didn't live so long. Others say he was called, he's the Medrash Shmuel, that he was called Bag Bag, Ukatov. He was called Bag Bag based on the Rashbam because he was a convert, and the Bag Bag, Bet and Gimel is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5, which is actually the Ben Hehe of the next Mishnah is the same. He says it's the same person. Why were they called that? Because Abraham and Sarah, who were the beginning of converts, they were the first people to become converts, you could say, and also create converts, create gerim. They had a hey added onto their name. So therefore, the people in the future who would convert also are referred to by their name. He says something very interesting. The reason that they were called different than the regular name is Lastira mina malshinim nikru kach. Apparently, there were malshinim, people that would try to persecute them, that would bother them for becoming Jewish. So they wrote their name in a hidden sort of way so that they wouldn't be identified. A very interesting thing that he writes there. But either way, according to the second pshat, he was a ger, he was a convert. So the Mishnah now tells us a beautiful Mishnah about the chashivut, the importance of limud Torah, and about the focus of Torah specifically. Ben Bag Bag Omer, Ben Bag Bag says the following: Hafachba va'afachba. Amen. Hafachba va'afachba. Hafach means to turn it over. Turn it over. Turn it over and turn it over, which means analyze the Torah, go through the Torah, look at every angle of the Torah. Dekolaba, because everything is inside of it. What do you mean dekolaba? Any chokhmah you're looking for, any question you have, any issue, challenge, it's all somewhere in the Torah. Somewhere.
You have to find.
You have to find. You have to know who to ask. You have to know which sefer to open. You have to know how to look, and that's why we have, Baruch Hashem, rabbis, talmidei chachamim that you could go to and say, where does it say this? How do I know what to do this? So they'll open up a sefer Nach, they'll open up a sefer Halacha, Musar, Hashkafa. Tan Torah is Baruch Hashem. But it's all inside of Torah. Continues Ben Bag Bag, Uba techezeh, and in it you should look. You should look and focus on Torah. V'siv uveleva. Siv is milashon seva. And become old, uvele. Uvele is worn out. Become old and worn out with it. With the Torah. It means even when we're old and worn out, we become old, also you should be with the Torah. Umina lo tezua. And don't ever move from it. Always stay with the Torah. She'en lecha midah tova imena, because there's no better measure than the Torah. So the Tosfot Yom Tov points out here, and the Rav points out here, a person cannot say, I've already learned all of Torah. Now I'm going to go learn, it says Chokhmat Yevanit, whatever. I'm going to learn something else. I'm going to learn some other sorts of Chokhmah that's not Torah. You're not allowed to say that. Because Umina lo tezua she'en lecha midah tova imena, whatever information you need is inside of it. He does bring down, as there was such an idea, when a person's in the bathroom, so you're allowed to read books of, not Torah, because you can't, but you could learn books of Chokhmah, of other things. That's what's brought down. I think they brought down certain rabbis used to have like math books in the bathroom. They used to have such an idea as when they were in the bathroom, they couldn't learn Torah, it's asum, but they would learn the other Chokhmot. That's what it is, some sort of an idea. Now, the Mishnah is telling us a beautiful idea, and I want to see, we'll go through the Tiferet Yisrael. He explains this Mishnah connects to the last one. Beautiful explanation that he says. But before we even get there, the Mishnah is telling us that anything we need to know, any chokhmah, any real advice or wisdom is somewhere in the Torah. You just have to know where to look. There is, it's funny because I was speaking with my father about this just yesterday. There is I believe it's a Marsha, one of the commentaries in Masechet Gittin. There's a parak in Masechet Gittin called Misha Achso Kordiakus, which is a parak that talks all about kinds of diseases and refuah, mental issues actually. So the Mefarshim there speak out, why does the Gemara quote large sections talking about refuah? Or why do we also have large mathematics? It's quoted in the Gemara. Stories, chokhmot, why is that? It's not halacha. So why is it quoted in the Gemara? So one of the Mefarshim there comment, if I remember correctly, was the Marsha. He says, because it wants to show us exactly this idea. The kolaba is, don't think for a second, we might not know exactly where to look, but don't think for a second Torah is lacking in any way. It's not missing any information. Any real information is in the Torah. It's somewhere there. How to get there, how to find it, okay, that might be a little difficult to find. So you ask somebody that studied and knows, a Talmid Chacham, a rabbi, and they'll tell you. But it's all there. So it includes refuah, it includes chokhmot, it includes mathematics, it includes science. I just learned yesterday in Masechet Brachot, we were learning about astronomy, about the stars and the mazalot. It's all there. It's all there. Because everything's included in the Torah. Now listen to Tiferet Yisrael, how he explains this Mishnah. He says such a beautiful idea. He says this Mishnah is a continuum of the last Mishnah. After you learned the last Mishnah, somebody might have said like this. We said, a 5-year-old learns Chumash, 10-year-old learns Mishnah, 15 for Gemara, but then you get married. So he goes like this. He says, every part of this Mishnah is telling us, how do you continue beyond that? What do I mean by that? A person might say, based on the Gemara and Kiddushin, he'll say like this, okay, I understand till 18 or till 20 when you get married. First 20 years of your life, you learn Torah. You don't have the ol of Parnassah on your neck yet. You don't have to worry about supporting your wife and kids yet. So there I understand you're going to be involved in pursuing the study of Torah. But once you get married, how are you going to study Torah? Now you have to support your wife and kids. You have to work. We have to work hard, and now we can't sit and learn Torah. So the Mishnah here is coming to tell us, even beyond 20 years old, we're going to go through it. Tiferet Yisrael explains every part of this Mishnah is the next stages. There's no excuse. You also have to continue studying Torah at those stages. Listen to how he says this. So he says like this. Turn it over, because everything is included in the Torah. So we begin here. I'm just going to briefly quote it because it's a little bit lengthy. So he says like this. What is the Tana saying? That's the first 20 years of your life. First 20 years roughly, until you get married. So logical, you have time. That's when you're supposed to study Torah, build yourself up. Beautiful. When you don't have the ol of Parnassah. But the second, that's the first afochba. The second afochba, what's the second one? V'afochba gam esrim shanim shniyim shalcha. The next 20 years of your life, from 20 to 40. V'lo tachush li'ibud parnasatcha. Don't worry about losing your parnassah. Al yedei atmadat limudcha, because of your study. You have to still work, but you shouldn't lose study altogether.
You can do that.
Darei kolaba, because everything is inside of it, like the Mishnah says. Dekol chamudot olam hazeh, everything desirable in this world. Ve'olam haba tasigem al yada. You could still accomplish even with studying Torah. When you intend l'shem shamayim, when your focus is l'shem shamayim, like it says, orech yamim b'yemina. Meaning, the idea is, even though the next 20 years of your life you're working hard, you're supporting it, but you can't give up. Everything is included inside of it too.
It sounds like they actually, mamash, the bracha of Parnassah is by keeping learning.
Through learning, l'shem shamayim, but l'shem shamayim, exactly. So that's from 20 to 40, we continue learning Torah, even though we have all Parnassah, we're going to still be successful. Let's move on in the Mishnah now, and we'll go to the next words. V'siv look at the Torah. So it's the next stage in your life.
40 to 60.
40 to 60. Continues. Beautiful. It says like this. So 1 second. The third set of 20 years. 40 to 60. Dahainu me'arba'im ad shishim. That's when you start using koach binatcha. You start using your, we said 40. Ben arba'im le bina. Your bina. It's a special type of chokhmah we spoke about. Livchor zivug lebanecha ubnotecha. Very interesting. You use the chokhmah of Torah that you've gotten to get good spouses, good mates for your children. Uliyaetz lahem ofen parnasatan. And to give them advice how they could get parnasa. Again, you tell them, learn Torah. You look inside of it. So then you use your binah, the chokhmah you've gained from the last 40 years, to give advice to your children how they should pursue life as well. Let's continue. V'siv uveleva. V'siv, you become old and worn out with it. 60 to 80. Let's continue. Ze omer neged. This is all Tiferet Yisrael. He says like this. Neged ha-esrim shanim ha-revi'im. The fourth set of 20 years. Tahainu mishishim ad shmonim. Shenechelash koach gufcha. Naturally, we said at that point, the body is a little weaker. To become weaker. Don't allow it to pull you away or to diminish your studying of Torah. Siv, ratzad omar seva. That's what it is, seva, your old age. Tazkin be'esek shela, kishetagiyah leben shiv'im leseva uveleva. And he goes on, Dahainu be'agiyah lishmonim yemei hitasfut v'abliya. When a person gets significantly older, gam az b'sha'ashua Torah tivla chayecha. You should still engage with the Torah as the desire of the ultimate thing that you're doing with your life. This is 60 to 80. That is v'siv uvleva. What's that? The fourth set of 20. Uminalo tizua. We said, don't stray from it. She'en lecha midah tova imena. So now we're getting beyond 80.
I have some question.
Yeah, what's your question?
Last Mishnah, we talk about years.
Yeah.
This every 20 years. 20, 40, 60.
60, 80, right.
But last time we learned today, פעם שעברה אנחנו דיברנו על תאריכים של מתי הוא בר מצווה, מתי הוא לחתונה, ופה אנחנו מדברים 20 שנה.
That's right. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Right, it groups it together more. Meaning there we broke it up into 10-year increments. 10 years. Here it's 20. I don't know, it's an interesting point. Maybe the point is that the thing you're involved with at these 20 years are similar, so it groups it together. I hear. Don't stray from it, so we're holding now 80, beyond 80. So he says like this, Ze amar neged azman shemishmonim ad mea ulemala. Now we're already beyond. This is beyond reality. Shelchin olam haba ad ein sof. This is when a person already is focused on the next world in a very real way. So it says, don't stray from the Torah. Lo tamush milagot ba. Don't remove yourself from being involved with it. Digam ba'olam haba. It's actually avtacha. Tzadikim oskim ba'torah ktuva be'esh chora al gabe esh levana. That in olam haba it's going to be also. In this world you're going to be shmonim and up, but till olam haba also, the tzadikim are going to be sitting and being involved in Torah, like it says in Moed Katan, Tzadikim ein lahem menucha, lo ba'olam hazeh velo ba'olam haba. Tzadikim never have rest. They never have rest. Why? Shne'amar, Yerchu Michayil el Chayil. Where do we find this idea, by the way, the similar idea? We find Vayeshev Yaakov. Rashi says, Bikesh Yaakov Lashevet Bishalva, Kafza Alav Rogzo Shel Yosef. What happened? He wanted to relax. The problem is, Tzadikim ein lahem menucha. Tzadikim don't have menucha. What does it mean they don't have menucha? What do you mean they don't have menucha?
All day long they do Torah.
They're learning Torah all day. Why? Because they love learning Torah. And because they love Hashem.
I think because they love to make zchuyot le'am Yisrael.
It's also true. The point is, from 80 years and up, that's already minalo tezua she'en lecha midat tova imena. Not only in this world, we're talking about the continuum. In Olam Haba, it's the same thing. They're going to be sitting oskim b'Torah. Somebody once said, Olam Haba is like a Beit Midrash without a clock. So the tzaddikim sit, they can learn Torah. They never have to go home. They never have to go shopping. There's no clock. There's no. They could continue to learn ad ein sof. And the Rishayim chas v'shalom. Imagine. there's no clock. It's all a matter of how you...
They go to the club.
How did you prepare yourself? If you're sitting there without it, there's no end time. This is make you go crazy. Tzadikim oskim b'Torah ein sof, ein la menucha. It's the greatest thing. Rishaim sit in that same Beit Midrash and it's terrible for them. As v'shalom for them, you could say.
I think I don't have menucha because הפוך בא, והם לא גומרים להם לחפש.
That's right.
ממשיכים.
That's right. So the bottom line is, the Mishnah is telling us a tremendous yesod, which is, in Torah we have everything. We need an answer for any question, any difficulty, any struggle, any challenge in life. You look in the Torah. Where? Okay, that you need to know a bit how to negotiate, how to figure it out. But it's all there. It's all there.
You want easy way, go to Chacham.
Go to Chacham is the easy way, it's true. Or you could do Google today is also, it's amazing.
No,
We have resources. Lahavdil, but with the resources we have today is like, we have more access to Torah today, more resources today, probably than any time in history. You could listen to a shiur in any language, on any subject, at any time of the day, whenever you want. Today. Did they have that all throughout history? Not necessarily. Literally, you could listen to shiurim all day on any subject of any language. It's an amazing thing. We have access like never before.
מה לך?
נו?
לשמוע לחכם או לגוגל?
No, ודאי חכם. I agree.
נו, מה אני אומר?
I agree.
לא, כשאתה שומע לגוגל, אתה שומע חכם שהוא בגוגל.
לא.
זה לא שאתה שומע גוגל שטויות. אני שומע כל היום.
Hashem, be so to love Torah and to see all of the secrets inside of it.
להתפלל בטלפון.
Yom Tov, everybody.
לא, לא.
Said about the